217 Recovery Podcast. My name is Corey Winfield.
I'm Ryan Buckman.
And this is the 24th of September,
Deja vu day.
2019. And see, Ryan's saying Deja Vu Day because we just already did this podcast. And
Corey ruined
the
it.
devil... No, I didn't. The devil came in.
Make sure you're plugged in over there.
He pulled out my microphone like halfway through, and then I went to go edit the episode, and then it was gone, and then I could find it. By that time, we couldn't edit it. And it was, what'd you say, Ryan, the best podcast ever done on the earth?
I mean, yeah, it was like a great finish for the day. Worked like 12 hours a day.
It's beat. It's tired.
I chaired a meeting and did a podcast. Was feeling productive and then relieved. And then Corey just was like, "Oh man,
No,
you got me good, son."
I think the podcast sucked, and I think the devil knew that it sucked, and that's why he came in and ripped that. Maybe it was God who ripped the microphone out.
I don't know what
Can't give
happened.
the devil all the credit for that. But you said you chaired a meeting. You did.
Yes, I did.
How'd you feel doing that? Were you a little nervous?
No. I knew I was going to talk about getting hard and dealing with problems and all the hard things that we have to deal with. Corey. And then, just all the hard things we got to face in life and how we deal with it. Dealing with relationships to hard things to accept, just all that kind of stuff. I think it was a pretty good meeting. I don't know. You tell me, Corey.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. Was that the first? That's not the first time you've ever chaired a meeting, though, is it?
No.
Okay. Because some places, they make it like where you can't chair a meeting for a year.
Yeah, no, I would...
Some say 6 months.
We would have house meetings when I was in treatment, and I chaired them. I was first key, so I had to do that, and then and lead other meetings, and then I chaired some also in the community while I was there. So, no, not the first rodeo.
I think you did a pretty good job, though. In NA, there's a lot to read, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like NA for the fact that it feels, to me, more welcoming to just addiction in general. I think somebody actually said that tonight at a meeting, or maybe said it the other day. And not that AA doesn't, but it depends on where you go and who's there.
Yeah.
But the readings, some of them, and not like the readings like before the meeting starts or after, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess the meeting starts, then you do the readings, but I think you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Like the stuff that we were reading yesterday about getting hard or how it gets hard and how sometimes it'll just slap you right in the face, you know? Just a big old hard knock right in your mouth. I'm not sure if I told Krista about that, but we're going to talk about Krista and the name for the little recovery boys with a Z because they are just hating on that name. We'll talk about that kind of at the end of the podcast because that's kind of how we did it the first time. Went to the radio station today, and it was the first time I've been in a radio station, I think, since 2016. Of course, if you're just listening to the podcast now, this is your first time. Did radio for 20 years. That's kind of how I decided to start the podcast, as an outlet to keep myself sober, to give myself something to do, to be accountable, and to share kind of the feelings that we're going through. And some of the feelings in the past I wouldn't face, and that would cause me to drink. And kind of Ryan does the same thing. We have a lot of fun, and people say we help them. So that's why we do the podcast. But it was my first time back in a radio station, and Dale and his nonprofit was wanting to do a radio show here in Petoskey. so we went to the local station, and I think they were under the impression that he had money. Like, they wanted to help, and they were down for the cause for recovery. But I think they were thinking it was Dale coming in there gonna maybe cut him a check. Because it didn't feel like, especially at the beginning, it didn't feel like, hey, let's work together on this. It felt more like
charity.
Hey, do you want to buy some radio time? And Dale was like, I want to do an hour show. And they're like, well, you buy an hour show, we'll give you an hour. I know how that works, man. And if you spend $5,000, we'll give you extra $5,000. They're not giving money. They're just giving you double the spots, and you can. I don't know these people that well. They seemed really nice. Trish did, and Nancy, but I know how it works, man. And so that's when I asked about the public affairs show that the FCC requires that they run, and she kind of looked at me.
They can meet some requirements. Like, it's a double bonus for them.
Yeah.
They just don't even know it yet.
No, well,
now they do.
I'm not gonna.
You brought it to their attention.
Tell their business on the air, but I quickly could sense where it was going, and I said, well, there's a way you can help, and PSAs are part of that. And she said, well, if you want to record some 60s, and she did say, hey, if you want to use the studio whenever you want, feel free. I was like, how about 6 in the morning, kick that dude out of there? Just kidding. But I told her about my background in radio. And
waking up, listening to Corey Winfield again.
Have I ever played that? I don't know if I have for you. It's different drops from my morning show.
I think you might have heard
it's your mother
a couple of cuts.
peeping morning show. Like, what do you want to call your morning show? I was like, my mother peeping morning show. Like, the Boy Scout was having a field day with that. He was like, I can't believe you're getting away with this. At the last minute, the GM comes in. Dave Douchebag comes in and was like, you can't do that. That's just crossing the line. Like, whatever, man.
You are a habitual line stepper.
Well, you got to see how far you can take it.
You do.
And then, you can just take it a little bit further than that.
That's what happened our last show we just did. I think we crossed the line too much, and
the devil came in.
And
God came in.
God deleted it on you. So we're going to tone it down this time.
Yeah. SOS, Sisters of Sobriety. We talked about this in length in the last podcast that you can't hear because it's deleted. But they are
first annual.
The first annual, which makes my heart sad.
Corey can't stand first annual anything. He's got a boycott against that.
Yeah, I do actually.
I just remembered that
the first annual boycott, or the first annual I don't even remember what the hell it's called. It's a really long name, but it was like that on purpose, though. The first
annual boycott against first annual events?
Boycotters who boycott all first annual events, or something like that. Because you can't have a first annual event, man. It's an inaugural event.
It is both.
No, it's not,
Corey.
Man. Look it up. Joyce even looked it up.
Then the second year wouldn't be the first annual. Then when you had like a 100-year anniversary, what would it be? 101st?
Yes, Ryan, it would be.
It'd only be the 99th annual event.
Yep, you got it.
I won't accept that.
Well, I won't accept it being the first annual.
Oh, it's on the poster, buddy. Too late.
Kind of goes back to what Randy was saying. You can't call it to get hard meeting. I call whatever I want. So Ryan, you call it whatever you want. Ryan's chairing. I'm just pushing him to call it that because I think it'll be awesome.
Yeah, and it's all about dealing with our hard issues, hard relationships, hard things to accept. There's a lot to talk about that's hard, and it's hard to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
it's really good. It's gonna give the people a lot of growth, get a lot of things off their chest, off their back, and
just get it out of their mouth.
What's very good. But yeah, we're not doing that this time, Corey.
No, we're sure not. Guy will come down and pull the microphones out of you.
Yeah, you just got totally cut off. You were just outrageous. I tried to tell you to tone it down once or twice, but
yeah,
somebody pulled the plug
bad.
on you.
Yeah, thanks, God. Appreciate it. Now I don't have to say all that stuff.
It could have been my whole show.
Like, Mom, I said to say sorry to you so many times.
Hear a little murmur in the back of the corner. Charlie Brown teacher over there.
So the first annual event, back to that, is on the 12th of October. Mm-hmm. We can't be there because we're boycotting it. Not really. We're going to do recovery coach training.
Yeah.
But Anna, I'm hoping, and she wants to do it.
Come on, Anna. Come on down. Who has moved on us. She's moved on up.
Canada,
to the UP.
But she'll be there, hopefully. Because Angie from Sisters of Sobriety said it's going to be a huge event. There's going to be some great speakers. I'm sad that we're not going to be there, but it gives Anna a great opportunity to get out there, to meet people, and to get her face out there, and to take that uncomfortable step. Because I don't think Anna likes to be out there in public like that, but she is the leader, and she can take charge, and she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She'll be just fine. She'll rock it out there, and I really hope she can go.
She might have her self-doubts, but she's a real trooper. She can do it.
Yeah. And do you want to go through your story again?
My stories were... The other day I went to counseling, and I get these worksheets every week, and I got to fill it out. And then things that I'm going to work on, I have to write down persons that I'm going to tell about it and how it's going to help, and how they can help keep me accountable. My first one was I was going to quit smoking, which I'm going to really get serious about that. And I'm just going to do it one of these days. Not today, though. And then I had just being hard on myself. Very self-critical. I hate losing. I hate not even just... I'm a perfectionist, and I just want to be the best at everything, which is unrealistic. And even when I do little things, like forget something, I'll just come right out, start calling myself stupid and names, and very self-defeating and bad behavior too. So I'm going to quit doing that. And I caught myself doing it as I was going out the door to my counseling. But I caught myself. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I just forgot my keys upstairs. I had to walk back up there and grab them. And I'm getting better. And
I'll try to be your accountability buddy.
So if you see me beating myself up. And the other one was just taking on too much, not saying no to people, not giving myself my own time. So I made Sundays my time.
Sunday Funday, a little church, and fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need. But it is important when you're in recovery to take that time, and we want to stay busy all the time. We don't want to be isolating. We don't want to be alone. We just want to keep that moving forward and forward, but that can't catch up to you.
Yeah, you get overwhelmed, and it just gets overwhelming and stressful. And you got to realize you need to recharge them batteries so you can be the best you can be.
Hell yeah.
You.
All right, well, we're going to cut this one a little short since we already did a 45-minute podcast that we couldn't publish. So we'll hit on more of the stuff later, and we'll have that SOS event, which is October 12th. We'll have that on the website very soon. It's 217recovery.com/events. And if you want to catch up on other podcasts, if you didn't hear this